Doesn't matter how good your launch is. If your offer is not irresistible and if your niche is not the right niche for that offer, you guys, it's not going to work. So before you do the pre-launch, the pre-launch, you better make sure that your niche is nailed down and that your offer is good. Hello, I'm Debbie Shadid, the host of the Life Coach Business Building Podcast. If you are ready to have more clients in your life coach business, then you're in the right spot. Each week, I'm going to teach you super simple strategies to grow your business without feeling overwhelmed and without spending money on paid ads. Now, if that sounds interesting, stick around and let's get started. Welcome to the Life Coach Business Building Podcast. I'm glad you guys are here. I'm your host, Debbie Shadid. Today, we're going to be talking about a launch, whether that would be launching your private coaching, whether that's launching a new group coaching program, or maybe you are launching your coaching business altogether. You also, by the way, could be like launching a new website. Lots of things you could launch. Let me talk to you just about what a launch actually is. Kind of an overview, and then I'm going to give you lots of details. I'll talk about a schedule for emails, everything you need to know to be able to understand big picture and understand some details that you don't want to miss when you do a launch. All right, a launch is a funnel. So a funnel is simple, you guys. It's just literally what you imagine a funnel looks like. Up at the top, everybody is introduced to your offer. Everybody in your world, whether that be on social media, on your email list, through ads, however you do it, all the marketing that happens where everybody gets exposed to it. As they are receiving emails and information and learning from you about what you have to offer, and they are taking a journey down the funnel, downstream, you actually want them to eliminate themselves. So the people who are not the right people for you, you want them to move out of the way so you have a clearer picture of who is left, right? Who's left in your audience that are the right people that are going to end up at the bottom of the funnel. As you start to see, depending on how big your audience is, that audience gets smaller and smaller, you can make changes in maybe the way you were going to market. You could add a pop-up workshop. You can do things differently when your audience gets a little bit smaller, honestly, you guys. And a smaller audience should convert higher than a very big audience. When you have a big audience, a lot of those leads are cold leads. If you've grown them through paid ads and some other bigger marketing pieces, you're going to have fewer people. You know, if it's 1,000 people, you won't end up with 1,000 at the bottom. If you start an email list, if you have a funnel that starts with 100 people, you actually will end up with quite a few of that 100 at the bottom because your list is smaller. The 100 people are probably people that actually know more about you, that you maybe have talked to and interacted with. All right, let's talk about the 3 stages of a launch, and that is the pre-launch, warming them up, the launch, and the post-launch. I am not going to be talking about the post-launch today, but I do not want you to skip this step. The post-launch actually will set you up for the fastest success for the next launch, because you'll go through and you want to really document everything that worked, what didn't work, and what you're going to do differently in that post-launch period so that you know the next time. The idea of a launch is that we're going to just continue to use the same marketing materials over and over. That is how you begin to make things more simple in your business. All right, let's talk about the pre-launch. The first thing that I want to say is that you have to create an irresistible offer. Doesn't matter how good your launch is. If your offer is not irresistible and if your niche is not the right niche for that offer, you guys, it's not going to work. So before you do the pre-launch, the pre-launch, you better make sure that your niche is nailed down and that your offer is good and that you've really created something that's irresistible. So the pre-launch period is a period of time, and maybe it's 90 days, maybe it's 60 days, 30 days. Maybe it's all the time that you are continuing to create buzz about what you do. For me, it's the Business Building Boutique. I love to talk about that. I create buzz around that all the time. Maybe you're planting seeds, you're talking about your offer by name. So you guys are familiar with the Business Building Boutique. You tackle objections up front So you're setting the stage for people to be ready to buy from you. Find ways that you can get people engaged, whether it would be surveys or quizzes, like to show them the gap in why they need you, like what they're missing and why they need you. You also want to set your own personal expectations about the launch before you get started. What is your sales goal? And look, I want to encourage you to have a goal that is kind of impossible. But I also want to say I want it to be within the realm of possibility, because I think when we make a goal that is so big and we just pick some crazy number and we think we're going to manifest it, I think sometimes like our primitive brain, our bratty brain, you guys hear me talk about that, is almost not believing that. And then you don't take the same kind of action from that place of like, really excitement and determination and belief that it's going to work. So my recommendation is that you pick a goal that feels difficult to meet, but that is somewhere like, this could possibly go. Instead of, I'm going to make $1 million on this launch, pick something that's like, I think if everything works out to just the way I want it to, it could really possibly happen for me. Also, we want to think about brand awareness. What are your expectations during the launch about what people are going to know about your brand? How do you want people engaging in each part of your marketing? What if you decided that your goal was to get X open rate on all your emails? That would be very interesting to be able to decide, hey, this is what I'm shooting for. And the objective would be every time, like, how can I tweak that subject line? Because that's the most important part to be able to get more interactions. Then you want to be thinking about lead generation during the launch. Still, where are new people coming into your funnel? Look, lead generation is all the time. Never stop building your email list. Here is the launch details that I want to talk about in beta launch reference. Okay. You don't have to use the word beta. You can use whatever you want, but beta just means like you're starting something. Okay. When you are starting something, you have a new program, a new offer. Beta launching could be private coaching. Anything could be private coaching, just like private or group. All right. But the beta testers, they're going to be your ambassadors. They're going to actually be your future salespeople. They're going to be the people that will give you the best success. They're going to be your number one supporters. And you guys, for them, they're going to get all kinds of marketing about them. It's actually really a win for you and a win for them. So who do you want your beta testers to be? You want to make a list of prospects. I would recommend that you try to think of people that you know personally, that you know are committed to work, that you know will give you positive, truthful feedback, that you know would be, maybe they're connected in a certain way that their audience is bigger. You want to contact them personally and you want to give them all the details. So you have to have the details worked out. Like, we start this day and these are the hours of the coaching. This is how it's going to work. This is what's going to be required for you. You can also, of course, get beta testers through email, through referrals, on LinkedIn, anywhere on social media. All right. But I would start with people that you know first. That's the key. You could require your beta testers to apply. Like, we want to set the stage that what you have to offer them is gold. You want to make them committed, and you want to make sure that they really are committed, that they're going to come do the work, because your beta testers, you want them to go through the whole process and you want them to get a good outcome at the end. So you're going to be considering that as you go. So the more you talk about, like, this is an application and not everybody's going to get a spot, the more that you are getting the person who's going to go through your program. And by the way, let me stop right here and say, beta does not have to be free. You could do a beta program full price. You can do it any price you want to, or you can do it free. All right. So let me get back to it now. You want to invite them to participate and know that your goal is for them to be successful, that they're going to be required to give feedback along the way. Truthfully, they're going to get better support than anybody else that ever works with you in your program. Why? Because you're going to be in contact with them. You're going to do a pop-up group if you need to, or an extra session if you need to make sure that they have clarity on what they're doing. This is the key to a beta program, is for you to get the details worked out and for them, the people in it, to get the best result. If you're not in a launch, you are in a pre-launch. It is happening all the time. Do not forget that, guys. You want to be thinking about keeping, again, leads coming into your business all of the time. Let's talk about planning for your launch, planning for your beta launch, whatever launch you're having. It could be your regular group coaching program. You might have rolling enrollment for your program, which means it's open all the time. And you can still have launches because maybe there's like 4 times a year that you actually want to bring groups of people in. Like somebody can start next week, but they could also bring a big group of people in all at one time, let's say 4 times a year, on a quarterly basis. So you're going to set up a workflow for this. You're going to decide what the dates are going to be. You're going to pick the cart close date and you're going to work backwards with your emails. I have a general guide of emails. Obviously, you're not going to get that on the podcast today, but I'll kind of give you some information about how that works. But just know, if your start date is the 20th and your cart closes on the 19th, you work backwards with your emails from there. You want to decide what is going to be your biggest pitch. Where are people going to be invited to something to all get excited? Is that going to be going live on some platform and talking about it? Are you going to do it in a workshop? Are you going to have a webinar? What are you going to do that's going to create excitement about this really phenomenal opportunity that they have? Creating a landing page, which is just a page on your website that provides all the information about what you're doing, is also another step that's good, because when somebody decides that they want to work with you, maybe you send them the payment link. It would be better if it was actually on a landing page where they come again right before they're going to pay and they see again the value in what you offer. Maybe some of the details are spelled out in print, but they see it all right there. So they're very clear, can be very excited. This is a place where you can add more testimonials, where you can do FAQs, answer questions, that kind of stuff. So you'll want to create a sales page. You want to have a marketing plan in place. List all the places you want to market. Remember, you guys, I believe you can reach $100,000 in your business through organic marketing, but you might have to go live. You might have to send lots of emails. Again, the pop-up workshops, maybe open coaching, roundtable discussions. It depends on your industry, but you want to do all of those things. Maybe you want to go behind the scenes and let people know about the work that you're creating, for your program, whether it be private coaching or group coaching. I want you to be thinking about the feeling that you want your marketing to create. How are people going to feel connected to you? What do you want them to think through your marketing? It's going to depend on the kind of coaching that you offer. Let's say you do anxiety coaching. Then you want people to feel at ease when they're reading it, right? You don't want somebody to feel anxious, like this is going to be a big commitment. You want them to feel like comfortable as they go through your marketing funnel, that like, this lady's really got me, right? You want to feel potentially hopeful. If you're selling to somebody who's overeating, over drinking, overspending, all the over things, I want people to feel confident and inspired. Yeah, like I'm going to be able to show them the way and they're excited to do it. So decide what you want that to be. And then when you write your emails, you think about how are you going to create that feeling consistently over and over that your person needs to feel. My people need to feel inspired and they need to feel confident that I'm going to give them what they need to grow their business. How do I continue to create that for them is the question. You also want to make sure that your client feels your commitment. Do they believe that you believe that you're making a difference in the world? Do you guys believe that I know what I have to offer really is the best? I say there's no other coach that is offering what I'm offering. I fill the gap that other coaches aren't. I totally believe that. So do you believe that about what you're offering? And can your audience sense that? Let's talk about pre-emails. You guys will hear the term runway when you talk about funnels. You'll hear runway, and it's exactly what we're talking about, which is the plane needs lots of room to pick up speed. The more room the plane has to pick up speed, guess what? The more successful your launch will probably be. But let me just say, in the real world, when we're not doing huge launches, in the real world, maybe your launch is only 3 weeks or 2 weeks, and that's perfectly okay. All right. I'm giving you the overview of what this whole thing really looks like, big picture. Let's talk about your offer. As I already said, the best launch is no good if your offer isn't right for the people in your world. So in your community, do you have people, and I mean in the community of people like you in your niche, Do you know people really in your niche? That's where you're going to have the most success. If you are, a human resources leader, if you are a human resources leadership coach, I'm working with somebody right now that does that. She needs to make sure she's got lots of human resource people that are at the same level as hers. If you are, a weight loss coach for women that are of this age, you better have those women in your world. All of that is niche based, right? And probably it's going to be an extension of you, because most of us come to coaching and we coach on the things that we have experienced. So make sure that you are launching something that fits with people that you know well and that you could sell to. You understand them, you know their pains, you know what's happening. All right, let's talk about sharing something during the launch that you could show people what it looks like to be taught by you, how you share your expertise, what you can give them of value. How can you let people have a glimpse into, like, this is what it's like to work with me. This is the way that I serve you. How can you let people have a glimpse at what it would be like to work with you? Workshops are a great deal. You do a workshop, you can repurpose that and you can send out an email, say, hey, I wanted you to have this. Here's a little bit about what it would look like to work with me. Share, you guys, share your stuff. I promise you could basically give out your program. And you've heard this before. It's not new, but you could give out your program and people still hire you because they still want personal support. They could Google and find everything. They could go on YouTube and watch every video, but they still want personal support. So be really generous to people as you're going through the launch period. All right, schedule. Again, I talked about pick your day, the cart close day, and work backwards. I do have a suggested guide for emails. You guys can Google those and find those. What I want to say about that is the timing of your launch and your emails is best for you. You figure out, just like everything else I say, take the general information that I'm teaching you, and then let's figure out a launch time, a series of emails, how long that really works for you. All right. And then we figure out the emails that need to go in there and how it's going to work. The biggest piece is that you want to make the timeline, because I want you to complete all the emails and schedule every email before you send out the first one. And why is that important? Because your bratty brain is going to tell you to stop sending emails. You're going to be thinking like, I'm sending you're going to be thinking I'm sending too many emails. Like, you're going to be reminded of somebody that sent you a lot of emails and you're going to think like, I couldn't stand that. You're going to not want to talk about it on social media again, because you're going to be convinced that everybody is looking at your social media posts and remembering what you're saying. And that just is not true, you guys. We need to cast a very wide net to get the people that we want. The market is flooded with sound and noise about opportunities of coaching and programs and all that. You want to make sure that you're out there with all those people. It's not hard. It's just part of what you do in your planning. All right, let's talk very briefly about the emails. I'm not, again, going to be able to show you the schedule. If we were working together, we would actually create your schedule and I would give you feedback on that. But in general, when you start launching, you're officially like time to start. You want to start with an announcement. Like, here's what's happened. Here's what we're doing. Here's what's going to be included. Your job is to keep everybody excited. All right. Then you maybe want to talk about some early signing bonuses, really something that will incentivize them to take action now, immediately. Then you're going to go through a series of emails where you talk about their pain points. What is it costing them to not get this solved? Pointing out to them really what the problem is, pointing out to them that they haven't had the solution themselves and you do have the solution. Then you want to go through a series of testimonials. You can share transformations that you have created for clients, just repeating to them the value that they get from selecting you as their coach. You want to talk about results. If you have results that are hard number results, if you're a weight loss coach and you can say X amount of people that I work with meet their goal, that would be fantastic. Sometimes results are transformations, mindset transformations. Sometimes it's money goals. Whatever that is, if you have results specific, do that. Otherwise, keep sharing testimonials, tell client stories, tell your own vision, your own view of what's happened with the client. Then you want to start with buy now emails, like Right now is the time to buy. Why? Because it's getting close to the last chance. Doors are closing soon. Bonuses are expiring. You want to do some emails that answer every doubt. This is so important. We could go through the entire calendar year and there are times to doubt about, gosh, it's the wrong time because it's summer. Gosh, it's the wrong time because it's the holidays. Gosh, it's the wrong time because, whatever. All year long, people can come up with an excuse. So whatever your niche is and whatever your offer is, you answer the problems. If it's summer, you tell them why this is the perfect time, even if they're going on vacation to work with you. Then we come down to the join now. Like we're getting down to the countdown of time, join now. And then we sort of have those last chance emails. These, you guys, are going to be the emails in the last 24 hours, 48 hours that everybody joins on. I'm just going to tell you, this is why you've got to have those done early. You're going to be sending an email. Look, I just received the other day, as example, somebody who was closing their cart, a very successful coach who sent me 3 emails in 20 minutes in the morning at 6 a.m. and she wasn't closing till that night. So I don't know how many other emails. It just happened to be that I was sitting on my phone and I saw 3 emails in 20 minutes. Now, this person makes millions. I know this. And so it's obviously not a problem to send a lot of emails. You want to send on the last day results, testimonials, why they have to do this. You want to paint the vision of possibility of what's going to happen for them. You want to have emails that are all filled with call to actions. If they're going to schedule a call, let people text you if you're comfortable with that. Voxer me your questions. We can get on a quick 15-minute chat or join me for my workshop to get, or join me for open coaching to get your last questions answered. Do a little group coaching session. You want to send morning, midday, 7 o'clock, carts closing in 1 hour, all of those, you guys. You cannot go wrong on those. All right. That is kind of the anatomy of a launch. It's the overview of what happens when you launch either your private coaching or your group coaching. You can do both. Private coaching is just the same, and you want to build anticipation. You want to tell everybody the same set of emails, why it's so critical that they start working with you, incentivize them, and bring in a group of people into your private coaching business all at one time. Why not? All right, you guys, I hope this was helpful. Thank you for being here and cannot wait. I would love to hear from you guys. Tell me what's happening with your launch. Tell me what you have launched. Tell me what questions you have. Let me know how things are going. All right, I'll talk to you next week. Have an amazing week. Bye-bye. Okay, ladies, that is it for today. Before we go, I want to invite you to head over to debbieshadid.com. I have this incredible Canva training specifically designed for life coaches where I'm going to teach you how to use Canva to create beautiful graphics to market your life coaching business. All right, have an amazing week. I'll talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.